We eat crap food, we don't move our butt from the couch, and then we expect diet plan which will include reducing the good carbohydrates from our food and having some junk food. No, you're not supposed to do that. Tip number 1. Start having protein in every meal. It is such a major constituent of a balanced nutrition plan. Protein not only helps build muscle, but it also helps in filling up your stomach. It is a bulk. It's a bulky food, so it's going to take time to digest and it is going to fill up your stomach even more. Indian staple food, that is staple diet, is very high in carbohydrates. So we often are deficient in protein. So when we are adding protein and replacing carbohydrates, our nutrition, obviously our nutrition plan gets balanced and we get all the macros which we need to build muscle and then ultimately increase our resting metabolism. When you increase your resting metabolism, you are obviously ultimately going to start losing fat even quicker. That is, you start burning fat even while you're sleeping, even when you are sitting and doing some other work. You start burning extra calories. Second tip, avoid bad carbs. All of us are really smart. We know what is right and what is wrong. When we talk about carbohydrates, carbohydrates are so essential in fueling our body. It is one of the major sources of energy which we consume because our body needs energy to survive. In my previous point, I said that you add protein to replace some of the carbohydrates. So I don't mean that carbohydrates are bad, but you need to balance the macros in your plate. That is why I said you replace some carbohydrates with your proteins. There are two types of carbohydrates. There are bad carbohydrates and there are good carbohydrates. If you haven't watched my video on carbohydrates, then please do watch. I will put the link in the description below. So make sure that you watch that. So good carbohydrates are obviously all the food sources which we consume in our Indian food, in our Indian staple diet. And the bad carbs are obviously, all of you know it, that whatever junk food which we eat outside. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those carbs. You should have, otherwise we'll go mad one day. So I'm not saying that completely restrict those carbs, but keep it under 10% of your entire diet plan. What people tend to do is that they reduce good carbohydrates from their nutrition plan, then they feel hungry, then they feel less energetic, then they go into some stress and the cortisol levels inside the body just start rising and you go into stress and then you feel like having sugar or you feel like having carbs in your body. That is when they turn to bad carbohydrates and then they start binging on that. So reducing the good carbs and good carbs just because of some myths and then ultimately increasing your bad carbs is what just loses, it completely disturbs the balance, that is your physical as well as your mental balance. So it is extremely essential that you balance out this under 10% bad carbs and 90% of the time good carbs with protein and moderate amount of fats. Third tip, cutting out sugar and substituting it with some natural sugars. When anyone talks about sugar, they are like, no, we should not eat fruits. You should eat fruits. Fruits are so good. They have natural sugar in it. They have fructose in it. It is not synthetic, it is natural. It's good. It has other nutrients in it as well. It has so many vitamins and minerals and other components in them. So make sure that you're having them. Instead of binging on some chocolate cake or a chocolate pastry, have some fruit. Bananas, I love bananas. I always have bananas. It's not bad for your health. It's not going to make you gain weight like this. If you are burning enough and you are working out and you are carrying out some or the other activity apart from workouts, that energy which you consume from the bananas is going to be consumed. It's not going to make you fat. If you are not working out, you're not moving, you are not getting up from your butt, then it's going to store into fat. May it be good food, may it be bad food. So you should make sure that you are moving. The ultimate key to fat loss is burning more than we consume. And by burning more, I don't mean that you should starve yourself. You are supposed to keep a caloric deficit. If you don't know what is a caloric deficit, then please do watch my other fat loss videos so that you will understand and get an idea on how you should start your fat loss journey. If you are a dessert freak, then make sure that you are making these desserts at home in a healthy way. You can always use sweet fruits instead of sugar and mix it up and make some dessert. It's always much healthier. That is what I do. I love desserts and I always make them at home in a healthy way by using bananas. Again, I love bananas, so I use bananas in my desserts also. So that's how it goes. That's how we create a lifestyle. So make sure that you're doing that. Tip number 4, have a cheat meal and not a cheat day. Personally, I don't believe in cheat days or cheat meals, because when you start thinking that it is a cheat meal or a cheat day, then your psychology starts working that way. You create a mindset, oh, that I'm cheating, I'm getting to cheat, so I'm going to cheat a lot because I'm not going to get to eat that again for a long time. That should not be the case. If you start this, you're going to binge into eating the foods which you like and which are not good for you and for your fat loss journey. You have to consider these meals which you have, where you have this junk food under the 10% category. When you have this, you have to consider it as a part of your nutrition plan and not a cheat meal or a cheat day. So make sure that you are first doing that. People often do strict diets, very strict diets for the entire week, and then they go into binging on some crap on the entire day on which they are allowed junk food. That should not happen. You are ultimately going to pile up all the calories which you have burned during the week. So that should not happen. If you feel like eating, then eat your favorite food in one of the meals along with the good food. You are not supposed to replace the entire meal with something you like, that is some junk food. So 2 things in this. First of all, don't consider it as a cheat meal or a cheat day. Always consider it as a part of your nutrition plan. And secondly, make sure that you're having this favorite food of yours in only one of the meals along with some good food, and make sure that you're eating the good food and then eat the favorite food which you want. I am pretty old school in all these approaches or in weight loss and everything, so I'm going to tell you what's actually going to work for you. So make sure that you are following this. If you like my video, then please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to share it with your friends. And all of you, those who are supporting me on Instagram, I really love you a lot. Thank you so much for your support, and make sure that you're sharing my profile so that even more and more people will be able to get some knowledge. And if anyone needs or requires some plans or anything to get started or needs some motivation to get started, then please make sure that you contact me or DM me on Instagram at the FitDoc Official. And so I'll see you in the next video.